Do you ever feel like your mind is the reason you're suffering? That constant thinking, analyzing, seeing connections others miss. It's supposed to be a gift. So why does it feel like you're carrying a burden no one else can see? The brightest minds throughout history have struggled with this exact paradox. Arthur Schopenhauer knew why intelligence often destroys the very person who carries it, and he wasn't offering comfort, he was offering truth. This video won't tell you how to stop thinking, but it will show you why thinking might be the thing that's killing you, slowly. We're going to explore why the most intelligent people often feel the most alienated, why understanding more about reality leads to less happiness, not more, and why society has always feared those who see too clearly. If you've ever wondered why your brain feels like both your greatest asset and your heaviest curse, stay with me. The answer might hurt, but it's better than the confusion you're living in now. Picture this. You're sitting in a room full of people laughing at a joke you find meaningless, not because you don't get it, because you see through it. Or this. You lie awake at 3 a.m. solving problems no one asked you to solve, connecting dots no one else notices, while the world sleeps peacefully in their ignorance. You're not overthinking, you're just thinking in a world that prefers distraction. Intelligence creates distance between you and others, between what you want to say and what others can understand, between how you see the world and how most people experience it. You notice everything, the contradictions in what people say, the pain beneath their smiles, the existential absurdity of daily routines everyone else accepts without question. This isn't superiority, it's isolation. You're not choosing to be separate. Your mind is creating the separation, whether you want it or not. They don't hate your intelligence. They just don't want to feel stupid around you. But here's the uncomfortable question. Is it truly your intelligence causing your suffering, or just your belief that you're more intelligent? Because the truly intelligent person knows that intelligence itself is a hall of mirrors. The moment you think you've escaped the maze of confusion, you've merely entered a new labyrinth of your own creation. You've probably been told you think too much, as if intelligence is something you're doing wrong, as if awareness is a mistake, as if seeing clearly is the problem, not what you're seeing. But here's what no one tells you. This pain isn't because you're broken. It's because you're functioning exactly as a heightened intelligence should in a world that wasn't built for it. You're not overwhelmed. You're under-supported in a society that celebrates distraction over depth. Enter Arthur Schopenhauer, the 19th century philosopher who understood suffering better than perhaps anyone else. He didn't just study pain, he lived it. And what he realized about intelligence might explain exactly what you're feeling right now. Schopenhauer argued that intelligence is fundamentally a curse, a heightened capacity to perceive suffering without any corresponding increase in your ability to escape it. I call this the glass ceiling effect of intelligence. You can see the sky, but you keep hitting your head against an invisible barrier that others don't even know exists. The more you understand, the harder life becomes, not easier. Think about that. Every bit of insight you gain doesn't bring you closer to happiness. It pushes you further away. Why? Because intelligence reveals the true nature of reality, a nature most people are protected from by their very inability to see it clearly. Most people aren't afraid of smart people. They just can't relate to them. They're living in a different world, one where surface-level distractions are enough, where deep questions don't interrupt their sleep, where acceptance comes easily because awareness remains shallow. You're not difficult. You're just early to realizations others will spend lifetimes avoiding. Schopenhauer put it brutally. The more intelligent a man is, the more suffering he has. Not because intelligence creates suffering, but because it removes the veils that hide the suffering that was always there. You were handed a magnifying glass in a world full of cracks, and now you can't stop seeing them. The consequences are real, and they compound. Consider David Foster Wallace, a literary genius whose mind gave us some of the most insightful writing of our time, and ultimately took him from us. Wallace once said, "The so-called psychotically depressed person who tries to kill herself doesn't do so out of hopelessness or any abstract conviction that life's assets and debits do not square, and surely not because death seems suddenly appealing. The person in whom invisible agony reaches a certain unendurable level will kill herself the same way a trapped person will eventually jump from the window of a burning high-rise." That burning high-rise? It was his own brilliant mind. His intelligence showed him too much about himself, about others, about the emptiness beneath our cultural distractions. He saw through everything until there was nowhere left to rest his awareness. No, you're not broken, but this world will make you feel that way every damn day if you let it. Social rejection begins early for the intelligent mind. Children who ask why too often, teenagers who question what others accept, adults who can't participate in shallow small talk because they're drowning in the depth of their own thoughts. Schopenhauer observed, "Intellect is invisible to the man who has none." The very thing that separates you is the thing others cannot see or understand in you. You're not overwhelmed. You're understimulated by conversations that go nowhere. Look at our modern digital landscape, where nuance is crucified daily on social media, where complex ideas must be condensed to bite-sized TikToks, where the algorithm rewards emotional simplicity over intellectual depth. We've created a global culture that actively punishes the kind of thinking that once advanced civilization. Depression follows naturally, not because you're chemically imbalanced, but because you're seeing too clearly in a world built on comfortable illusions. You recognize the pointless competitions people engage in, the status games, the tribal identities, the consumer distractions, the endless pursuit of things that won't matter on your deathbed, but you can't unsee it, and you can't explain it to those who don't already see it themselves. There's a particular kind of loneliness that comes with this curse. I call it cognitive exile. It's 2 a.m. again. Everyone's asleep but you. Your partner's breathing steadily beside you, peaceful in their simplicity, but your mind keeps churning, dissecting, unraveling, not because you want it to, because it can't stop. The worst part isn't the thinking, it's the isolation. The person who shares your bed doesn't share your mind. The people who share your blood don't share your perceptions. You've spent years perfecting the mask you wear, dumbing yourself down, nodding along, laughing at jokes that feel hollow, discussing topics that feel pointless. And slowly, invisibly, you stop trying to be understood. You accept that nobody will ever fully see you. You build a life of compartmentalized connections, taking small pieces of yourself to different people, never bringing your whole mind anywhere. Because the one time you did, you watched their eyes glaze over with confusion, discomfort, or worst of all, pity. You've created the perfect prison, one only you can see, built from your own awareness, where the bars are made of perceptions too heavy for anyone else to lift. Numbness becomes a refuge. If feeling everything is too much, feeling nothing seems like the only alternative. So many brilliant minds have turned to substances, isolation, or workaholism, anything to quiet the relentless awareness. Schopenhauer himself became famous for his pessimism, but what most people miss is that his pessimism wasn't emotional. It was logical. He simply followed his intelligence to its natural conclusion. Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom, he wrote. The intelligent mind experiences more of both. More pain because it sees more suffering. More boredom because fewer things remain engaging once you see through them. This isn't just philosophy. It's your daily reality. But here's where we need to go deeper than Schopenhauer did. Your intelligence isn't just a curse. It's also the only thing capable of understanding that curse. And understanding is the first step towards something else. Not happiness, not relief, but meaning. The unintelligent mind suffers without knowing why. The intelligent mind suffers while knowing exactly why. Which would you prefer? Your curse is clarity in a world that rewards comfortable blindness. What if we thought about intelligence differently? Not as raw computational power, but as what I call depth perception, the ability to see multiple layers of reality simultaneously. The average person sees a single layer of reality, the surface. You see the surface, what's beneath it, what's above it, what came before it, and what might come after it, all at once. That's not just thinking more, it's perceiving differently. Depth perception explains why you feel alienated. You're not experiencing the same reality as everyone else. You're seeing too many dimensions of it simultaneously. Schopenhauer believed art and contemplation were the only escapes, temporary suspensions of the will that drives all suffering. But he missed something crucial, the power of conscious integration. Your heightened perception creates distance between you and others, yes, but it also creates the possibility of deeper, more meaningful connections with the few who see what you see. Your awareness of suffering makes ignorant bliss impossible, yes, but it also makes authentic engagement with reality possible in a way most will never experience. Your intelligence shows you the worst of humanity, yes, but it also reveals what's best about being human, our capacity to see truth even when that truth isn't comfortable. You're carrying a weight others don't carry, but you're also standing on a vantage point they can't access. Intelligence isn't just sensitivity to pain, it's the capacity to find meaning in that pain by understanding its nature. The unintelligent mind feels suffering as random, senseless. Your mind can at least place it in context. Schopenhauer was right about the curse, but he didn't fully explore what becomes possible when you stop fighting against that curse and start working with it instead. So where does this leave you? Still intelligent, still seeing too much, still different in ways others can't understand, but perhaps with a different relationship to that burden. The curse isn't that you think too much, it's that the world thinks so little, and now you're stuck seeing what others are blind to. But here's the twist that Schopenhauer missed. What if the greatest suffering of intelligence isn't seeing too much, but seeing too little of what truly matters? Because intelligence without wisdom is just sophisticated blindness. The truly intelligent mind eventually realizes its own limitations, that for all its perception, it's still confined to a human vessel with human biases and human blind spots. The final stage of intelligence isn't certainty, it's humility. Maybe intelligence isn't a gift, maybe it's a sentence, and your job is to serve it with dignity. You're not alone in this. We are the ones who see the matrix code behind reality's facade. We are the ones who feel the weight of awareness in a weightless culture. We are the ones who can't look away, even when looking hurts. And here's what we must remember. Your curse isn't meant to be cured, it's meant to be wielded. Don't build a life that accommodates your intelligence. Build something that demands it. Create work that could only come from a mind that sees too much. Forge connections that exist precisely because you perceive what others don't. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You need to build something worth being misunderstood for. Your intelligence isn't something to cure or overcome. It's something to carry with the dignity it deserves. Schopenhauer wrote that a high degree of intellect tends to make a man unsocial, perhaps, but it also makes you real in a way few ever become. So, I'll leave you with this. What if your intelligence isn't actually the problem, but your relationship to it is? Are you using your mind to understand the world, or are you using it to hide from it? Because the most dangerous intelligence isn't the one that sees too much. It's the one that believes it sees everything. You don't suffer because you're wrong. You suffer because you stand at the observation point of history, watching both the beauty and horror unfold with eyes that can never again close. You're breathing consciousness in a world choking on comfortable illusions. Some burdens aren't meant to be put down. They're meant to be carried until you're strong enough to recognize they were never just burdens at all. What's the one truth your intelligence has shown you that you're still refusing to accept?